G'day fellas, and welcome to a very exciting day. There has been a new patch that has been uploaded. These are the release notes. It's literally just happened, so when you guys are watching this video, if it's been uploaded within the last minute or two, this is probably only about 30 minutes old. So let's jump in, gonna dive in and see exactly what they've got changed. And first and foremost, a beautiful artwork that they've got here for the patch. As we mentioned earlier this week, we're ready today with a small patch for Age of Empires 4. This patch corresponds with build number 9189 and features a few high-profile fixes. Upon updating to this patch, you'll no longer be able to utilize replays from previous updates. Alright, let's jump in and find out. Release notes. Additional tuning done to balance Springalds based on player feedback that the unit was too effective. Developer note, we've refocused the Springald to be strong versus exclusively siege units and not a generalist that is effective against most units. Alleluia. The Springald meta is dead, ladies and gentlemen. It is gone, skis. And can I just say, devs, I want to shout you guys out for this developer note. This is beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted to see. I'm so glad to see it. This is really cool to see that there's just a note in here that indicates, why that change was made. Details include, so Springald cost increase from 200 wood, 200 food, or 200 wood, 200 gold rather, to 250 gold, 250 wood. Okay, so a little bit more expensive. Springald bonus damage versus siege engines increased from 20 to 90. Wow. Springald base damage reduced from 60 to 30. Springald move speed decreased from 4 to 3.75. Okay, well, this is huge. This is incredibly strong. This is such a great change. This is so massive. So first and foremost, you guys will know that China is incredibly strong in the late game. We've seen China beginning to rise up in the most recent patch. I haven't done a tier list for that yet, but I'm planning to do one soon. This is going to hurt China in the late game. This is a great change because China was too strong in the late game. So bonus damage versus siege engines increased from 20 to 90. So right now they're doing 120 damage to siege engines in the late game compared to what they used to do, which was 80. So that's a wonderful change. They've addressed it exactly where they need to. Obviously, it's a bit more expensive now, but that's okay. That's a reasonable cost because when it came to the late game, population was more important than cost. And then on top of that, obviously reducing the base damage of the Springald from 60 down to 30. That's perfect. That is a change in the right direction. If the Springald is still too strong, then they can change that further. They can change that from 30 to 20, 30 to 10, 30 to 15, whatever they need to. But this is a change in the right direction. And obviously reducing the movement speed down as well. Gonna always be a welcome change. Great to see. It was already getting a little bit too fast when you stack on like the YAM network, the movement speed arrow as well, or for the Chinese, if you get the upgrade, the greased axles, and then on top of that you get the dynasty, then you kind of get like this compounding effect where you just get really fast Springalds. Really great change. The Springald meta is dead. Wonderful. Fixes for various exploits that saw deleted buildings return too many additional resources. This fix applies to several combinations of buildings and technologies you've reported, including deleting a building with the court architect's tech no longer returns additional resources. This was something that was posted on Reddit multiple times. I'm really glad that they've addressed this because obviously once it gets to the late game, it's very easy to abuse this. Really nice to see. Combining the French keep influence and unit generation will no longer result in a refund of additional resources. Similar fixes have been put into place for the Chinese and the Rus civilizations. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'm assuming if you build a stable near a French keep, it obviously reduces the cost down. But then, yeah, I don't know exactly what they're talking about there. Deleting or having Rus hunting lodge buildings. Isn't it hunting cabin? Pretty sure it's hunting cabin. It's hunting cabin, I'm pretty sure. It's hunting cabin. It's not hunting lodge. Will no longer result in increased gold generation. Deleting an intersection of stone wall no longer returns additional stone. These are really great changes. So this one was a big one. This was like 10,000 stone or something ridiculous that it was giving. It was very easy to execute. This had become quite rampant as well, so wonderful to see. Abbasid dynasty technologies can no longer be researched at multiple buildings to apply a stacking effect. Abbasid mains in shambles right now. Oh, you can tell them they're just crying out. They're like, no, I need my 16 million range spearmen. This previously impacted technologies within the House of Wisdom, including phalanx, composite bow, and camel speed. Fix for an exploit with the Chinese traders and neutral and allied markets. I'm not exactly sure what that is about. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know what all of the bugs are. But I mean, and that's a good thing, right? If I don't know what they are and I'm so active, then hopefully they're not too crazily in the community being exploited. Balance adjustments are being made to address your feedback that the Springald unit is currently too powerful. Wonderful. Minor stability fixes for crashes encountered on specific DirectX versions. Known issues. We may want to hold this for reactive. I don't think that's meant to be there. Currently, UI narration is available in English only. Okay. Mongol civilization players can produce additional gold by storing a relic within a prayer tent and then repeatedly packing and unpacking the building. They can. It's not a lot of resources and it's very micro intensive. So if they really want to do it, go for it. It's probably worth like an extra 10 villages in the late game. It's really not worth it compared to the other ones. But yeah, I mean, still they want to be fixing it. Prelates do not always auto-inspire units when moving between groups. And Lodger attack ships Rus civilization currently receive additional health if built after researching the armored hull upgrade. Okay, so that looks like all of the issues here, or all of the patch issues here, with the exception of this one. I do like this. So let's talk about this. So obviously we've spoke in depth about the Springald. The Springald meta is dead. What do we expect to see from here? Obviously that's going to decrease the power of some civilizations. So Mongols are going to get decreasing in power because of that, because of the Springald meta being backed off. So that is something to look out for. Abbasid dynasty, this is also a indirect nerf to them. So because both civilizations have the option to build Springalds or siege just outside of their base, they're more incentivized to do it. So this is going to reduce the strength of that siege, and subsequently it's going to reduce their power in the meta. Also, you can expect to see the Rus in the late game is going to be a little bit more easy to deal with because they're not going to have, well, they're going to have super long range Springalds, but they're not going to be particularly effective against normal units. So that is another thing to look out for. You're also going to see things like the Chinese, which are going to be not very easily rather, but you're going to be able to deal with the Chinese bombards a lot easier than before. So for anybody who had seen me play in the late game, once a game gets to like 20-25 minutes, I think I've got like a 95% win rate on Chinese, just because like when you literally play for bombards and make that your game plan, they're so incredibly strong. And this obviously reduces the power of the bombard down very significantly here, and because not every civ has got access to the culverin here, so it's a great change. So you would expect to see China weaker, expect to see Abbasid weaker, expect to see Mongols weaker, Rus slightly weaker. The French will be even. Who else have we got? The Holy Roman Empire. In fact, yeah, you could almost say they would be stronger because they've got access to the culverin. In fact, maybe this makes the culverin a little bit stronger. Maybe, actually, it probably weakens the culverin because of siege, like the Springald's just being stronger, so you don't need culverins. Maybe we need, you know what, I think there needs to be a change to the culverin. It needs to be a bit more viable. It's so expensive in the late game, and it's very fragile. But anyway, fellas, that's the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed this little discussion. We'll be having a tier list coming up probably in the next few days, where we'll be focusing a little bit on how the balance has transitioned. Currently, you know what, I'll give you guys a little bit of a tier list right now, just to show you exactly what I'm thinking of. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Tier list, AoE 4. I'm gonna try and find it. Tier list maker. Alright, here we go. So we're just gonna do like a little impromptu tier list right here. So at the moment, so this is before the changes. Okay, so before the changes, it's looking like this. Mongol S tier, France A tier, China probably B to A tier. Not even joking. Like, China probably A tier. English B tier. Abbasid dynasty B tier. Delhi just got nerfed into the ground, and they're kind of stuffed. And then maybe even the Rus in the A or the B tier. I'm probably the A tier. So that's what it would look like right now. So just with like the simple, the changes to the Chokunu have pushed China from D tier or C tier all the way up to A tier, because it means they've got a viable unit. Also because of the town center changes where they can actually fire off at units instead of rams, it means that, double TC is very strong now. as long as you keep them both together. It's very, very strong. So that's what it would look like right now. But obviously, with the changes to the Springalds, I think Mongol still sits here. I think France probably still going to sit A tier, might be going back up, but China will come down because of that. So you can expect China to come down to the B tier. And then from there, I think like that's the only real effect there. You might even see Abbasid move down a bit further. The Abbasid just are a very weak civilization. At least they feel like a weak civilization at the moment, just compared to everything else. But who knows? We'll see how it unfolds. I'll keep you guys posted. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.